Now, as most of you know, the funeral for Afrika Bambaataa was held last week in the Bronx. I ain't gonna really get too much into that because I decided to do a separate video on it. But in the wake of Afrika Bambaataa's passing, Chuck D commented on the legacy of Afrika Bambaataa as it pertains to hip hop. And this is what he says. And this comes from according to hip hop. Chuck D reacts to the passing for Afrika Bambaataa. Fact and truth, one of the founders of hip hop. I'm keeping it to the culture and thankful for the grace he gave me and my crew, and the accomplishments that so many built upon. I'll leave it there. As I was always taught, never be quick to condemn, always be slow to judge. Rest in peace. Now, Chuck D, he's one of the few rappers in recent times to really say anything about Afrika Bambaataa. The other person was Karis One. He said some positive things to say about Afrika Bambaataa, but for the most part, the hip hop artists, pretty much, at least from Chuck D's generation, have been quiet and everything because nobody pretty much wants all the baggage and smoke attached to defending Afrika Bambaataa. Rightfully so. Who wants to be associated with somebody with those allegations? Now, I'm going to mention allegations a lot here because, one, Afrika Bambaataa was never arrested for these violations. Two, he was never tried and convicted for it. So they remain allegations. Granted, you know, there were a lot of people that came out and spoke against Afrika Bambaataa and what he allegedly done, but he was never arrested for it and never tried and convicted for it, never been incarcerated for it. The only thing that happened to him was a civil trial, which he failed to show, and defendant was, well, Afrika Bambaataa was the defendant. The person in question was awarded some money for damages and whatnot, but civil is a lot different from criminal. But we ain't gonna get into that. This ain't a legal video. But yeah, I mean, of course, you know, naturally, there are some people that are, you know, pissed off by Chuck D giving Afrika Bambaataa his props. But if we go back and reread this, Chuck D is just keeping it to hip hop. So the question is, why can't people that Afrika Bambaataa helped over the years just talk about him as it relates to the art form? It seems like the social media cancel mob doesn't want you to say anything about Afrika Bambaataa unless it's cancel him. Why can't we just talk about, okay, what he did for the culture and what he contributed to the culture? I mean, Afrika Bambaataa was the one that united the elements that would later encompass hip hop. He united the gangs and everything, you know. I mean, you know, Afrika Bambaataa was a part of the Black Spades and whatnot. So, and which later became the Universal Zulu Nation. So why can't we just keep it towards the hip hop culture? It just seems like people just want to, unless it's something negative, nobody wants to hear it about Afrika Bambaataa. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not fazed by, you know, the cancel culture mob and whatnot because I have nothing to cancel. So in this regard, as far as Chuck D goes, he has every right to say what he said about Bam because Bam helped a lot of rappers out. And a lot of rappers are members of the Universal Zulu Nation, but we won't hear that because the narrative that's going to be on social media is curtailed to what Afrika Bambaataa allegedly done. They don't want to hear any of the other stuff that he done away from that. They just want to keep it on the negative stuff. Me, I think he just needs to have his get his flowers for the contributions he made to the culture, and the help and encouragement he made for artists and everything. Because Bam helped out a lot of rappers. He helped out a lot of people and everything. And some of you are going to turn this into a nasty and perverted thing. And that goes to show you where your mind is at. But if we just to keep this to the culture and the culture alone, then we could all say yes. Afrika Bambaataa, he did contribute a lot to the hip hop culture and whatnot. So that's pretty much how I'm going to remember Afrika Bambaataa and how Chuck D is going to remember Afrika Bambaataa. I mean, Chuck, obviously, he's older than me. He's what we call a late baby boomer and whatnot. He was born in 1960. So I think the Generation X years started in 1964 and whatnot. If I'm not, if my, if I'm correct on the timeline and everything, I think it's 1964 is where Generation X started. But yeah, so Chuck is from another generation, and everything where they just said, something, be be slow, be quick to. I mean, what was it? It was never be quick to condemn and be slow to judge. But when it comes to social media, especially in these days, those rules and that kind of philosophy has been thrown out the window. Audience, tell me what you think. Let me know in the comment box. This is Iron Will Media.